We are now in Matthew 13, part 4, and we're kind of going into the smaller little bits of parables that Jesus talks about here. And we're in verse 31. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. This is a very familiar passage, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all your seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and perch in its branches. Okay, so let's take a look at just this part and turn to Ezekiel 17:23. Now we're going to see another reference here. I'm sorry. I thought my voice would be a little bit stronger, but I still hear it turning very gravelly. Give me another hour and I will sound like a man, probably. Okay, verse 23. On the mountain heights of Israel I will plant it. It will produce branches and bear fruit and become a splendid I just lost where I was. A splendid cedar. There we go. Birds of every kind will nest in it. They will find shelter in the shade of its branches. So, this is what he's talking about, is that this tiny little seed that doesn't seem to have, how can something so big come out of something so small? And we've used this verse many times. There's necklaces and jewelry, all kinds of things that have this mustard seed in shirts. But the concept of it is mind-blowing, that all it takes is something so small that that the kingdom of heaven is like that a man can find the smallest of seeds and plant it, and yet it grows into this beautiful tree, huge tree, that the birds of every kind, as it says in Ezekiel, they'll find shelter in it, and they'll build their nests in it. That means that all of the world will find shelter in this tree. So when we talk about the faith as strong as a mustard seed, whenever our faith, our understanding, because the context of a lot of this in this passage that Jesus is talking right now is about our hunger and thirst after righteousness, our understanding. If we seeking and knocking and hungering after God, then that's what seems small, because our understanding is small. Yet our understanding will get so large and incredibly flourishing. It will flourish, so that as our understanding flourishes, then others can be able to come and rest and find understanding and wisdom and refreshment in our own knowledge of scriptures, and being able to find more about our understanding God and his heart. So it begins to share and multiply to all of those around us as we dig in and we ask God for understanding. And hopefully that's what I've been able to do in these videos. That's because that's been my heart, is, Lord, as I'm digging into the scriptures, this has been a study more for my sake, that I just kind of let be a part of videos now. But the whole point started with, I needed a way to be able to study God's word, and something that would challenge me and keep me accountable and motivated. And so I started doing this for Sunday school and for for some Wednesday Bible studies with the adults. But as I'm doing that, it's a way of, I'm studying and understanding, getting more understanding. There's a wealth more of understanding. You can keep reading Matthew and go back everything I've done plus more, and you will still find more and more depth to it. It's just God. That's how God is. He's so big that there's always going to be layers and layers upon layers upon layers. But as we do grasp understanding, God gives us even more, and then we get to share that with others, who then be able to expound upon it and go, oh, God gave me even more insight. And this is what this is. This is what he's talking about. And then we get into the next verse, or next part. Parable, that's what I'm trying to say. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into a large amount of flour until it worked all through the dough. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. Okay, so it's interesting here, because in the Old Testament, what do we know about yeast and leaven? That is related to sin. So you're supposed to take the leaven out of the house. But here, Jesus is actually kind of reversing that thought process. It's usually in the negative connotation, but it's here that he's showing that yeast is permeating and transforming the whole loaf. And that's how he's comparing the kingdom of heaven. It's to this point where it permeates, it expands, it transforms what was something that was small into something large and full and something that can be tasted and enjoyed. And it becomes a whole part of the loaf. It's not just a little bit, but the whole or parts of the loaf. It's the whole dough that this yeast permeates and transforms. It it is not the same creation once you have the yeast in it. So this is kind of the picture that he gives for the kingdom of heaven in relation to the yeast. I just found it interesting that, wow, Jesus actually reversed what we know in the Old Testament, going, okay, well, yeast is supposed to be bad, but here he's actually using it in a good connotation of it transforms and it remakes something into something far beyond what it started as. And that, we'll just stop right there and go ahead and jump into part 5 tomorrow.